As a fragile male college freshman, I was in the cafeteria when an athlete's elbow collided with my head. Instant concussion. The athlete, Lucas Carter, stood holding his tray, staring at me sprawled on the floor. Damn it. Trying to fake injury scam me. Huh? Later. He gripped my waist coaxing. Baby, be good. Let's try that again. When I first heard the term fragile college student online, I never imagined it'd apply to me. Until 1 week into the semester, at University A's third cafeteria, Luke sent me to the hospital, socially humiliated on the spot. University A's third cafeteria, famous nationwide for its affordable yet delicious food, sits adjacent to the university gym. This means it's perpetually packed with every muscular athlete on campus, like the Adonis currently in front of me. Broad shoulders, tapered waist, easily 6 feet 3 inches of pure muscle. Though I couldn't see his face, the blushing girl's stealing glances suggested he was no less impressive up front. Craning around his bicep, I anxiously monitored the rapidly disappearing sweet and sour ribs. When he finally reached the counter, his deep voice ordered, "Sweet and sour ribs, this and that." His bulk required extra portions. While waiting, I noticed my untied shoelace. The overcrowded cafeteria demanded immediate action to avoid tripping. Just as I bent down, the athlete turned with his loaded tray. Crack, his elbow met my skull. My vision whited out. Fuck. I managed before collapsing. A furious voice barked above me. Holy shit. Scamming me? Hey, you okay? Someone nudged my leg with their foot. Dizzy and disoriented, I barely registered the growing crowd's murmurs that intensified my pounding headache. Before blacking out, scorching hands lifted me. Through slitted eyes, I glimpsed moving lips shouting something. I woke in the hospital to find campus forums exploding. OMG. Did y'all see Luke's martial arts move? Dude barely touched that guy and he dropped. Swear on my life. Zero force used. Luke's innocent. Theory. Luke's some secret sect heir sent to train incognito. Our tough guy Luke panicking with scamming me? LOL. Maybe his skull never fully developed? Heard of that condition. Med student here, dying to examine him. Anyone else notice Luke missed out on the ribs? Tragic. Freshman legend status unlocked. 1L from Luke's team. Spill the tea. Seconded. Thirded. Fourth. Now back in my dorm, I sat staring at the human brick wall before me, close-cropped hair, razor-sharp features radiating rugged intensity. His phone buzzed incessantly as we maintained our silent standoff. My head felt heavy and nauseous. I glanced around cautiously and asked, where is this? Why do I feel so queasy? The guy barked out a humorless laugh, his towering frame bending down until our faces were inches apart. His voice dripped with sarcasm. You forgot? I sized up his muscular build compared to my own, instantly shrinking back. Yes, I squeaked. He straightened up, rolling up his sleeve with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. My elbow bumped your head in the cafeteria. Gave you a concussion. What the hell? I blurted, eyes widening. No way. I'm a 5 feet 10 inches guy. How could one bump cause a concussion? Luke loomed over me like a brick wall, his mocking gaze traveling from my head to the toes hidden under the hospital blanket. You? He snorted. Guy? I opened my mouth to argue, but one look at his biceps killed the protest. Compared to you, I guess not. I mumbled. He shot me a disgusted look, grabbing my sneakers. Doctor said it's mild. Rest in the dorm. As I sat obediently on the bed, Luke knelt and gripped my ankle. I yelped, jerking back. What are you doing? Putting your damn shoes on. He snapped, icy fury in his voice. Think I'll snap your twig legs? Too chicken to argue back. I whispered, I can do it. His calloused hand clamped around my foot, shoving it into the sneaker before roughly tying the laces. Rising to his full 6 feet 2 inches height, he looked down with a sneer. Doctor said minimize movement. Never even dressed my old man this good. He yanked the door open, glancing back with a mocking bow. After you, princess. My face burned crimson. Who the hell calls a dude princess? Got no shame? Luke walked beside me on the way back, thumbs flying over his phone. Suddenly another guy bounded over, eyes lighting up at the sight of us. Holy shit! Luke and the princess are back. I blinked, concussion fog muddling my thoughts. Princess? Who's? Luke smirked and shoved the guy. Buzz off. Escort duty's not done. At the dorm, I blocked the doorway. Thanks. I'm good now. Luke pressed against me, muscling through the door. He tossed his bag under the bed. I live here too. My jaw dropped. The roommate from the athletics program who'd been away since orientation. This was Luke? Seriously? That night, I shuffled toward the bathroom clutching pajamas. The door burst open before I could react. Luke strolled in shirtless, wearing nothing but boxers, rippling pecs, chiseled abs, and damn, that bulging package. Life's so unfair. I clutched the towel around my bare chest, heart pounding. What? Lucas Carter, why are you in here? He gave me that infuriating smirk, grabbing a loofah. His gaze raked over me from collarbone to knees. Relax. We're both guys. Unless... His hand darted toward my towel. I smacked his wrist away too forcefully, dizziness washing over me. Luke steadied me with an arm around my waist. Told you to take it easy, Ethan. He draped my arm over his broad shoulders, adjusting the shower temperature one-handed. My brain short-circuited when his fingers hooked into my waistband. What re you? Helping you shower. He mimicked my stutter, towering over me. Doctor's orders. Want me to drag your ass back to the hospital? We stared each other down until I surrendered, cheeks burning as I turned away. The sharp smack on my bare backside made me yelp. Pale as milk. Luke chuckled, completely unrepentant. Like some Victorian maiden. I whirled around, towel snapping across his face. He stumbled out laughing while I braced against the door, half expecting retaliation. Instead, his amused voice carried through the steam. Don't drown in there, Ethan. 10 minutes earlier, I thought Luke was decent despite his caveman antics. Now, if I could reach his stupid chiseled jaw, I'd... My phone buzzed with forum notifications. There he was, verified account blazing. The king's back. Replies flooded in instantly. Damn Luke, built like a damn tank. Teach us your ways. Is the freshman still breathing? Luke's reply made me choke. Tank my ass. Miss a lap tomorrow and I'll knock your teeth out. The thread exploded with laughter until user Skyclimber commented. Heard you gave the kid a concussion with your elbow. Glass bones or what? Luke's response lit up my screen. Not glass. More like the princess and the pea. Class group chat erupted with @Ethan notifications. Princess and the pea trended everywhere. My vision blurred imagining 4 years of this humiliation. To kill him. If only he weren't built like a damn linebacker. Warm breath tickled my ear. Enjoying my posts. Ethan? I jerked backward, nose colliding with his stubbled jaw. Tears welled up involuntarily. And not, Ethan. Luke's smirk softened. He thumbed away the tear tracking down my cheek. Come on. It's cute. His calloused hand lingered. Like those tiny shampoo bottles you brought. The towel slipped. Lucas Carter sprang to his feet, stumbling backward 2 full steps while clutching his chest. His brows furrowed as he stared at me, a crimson flush creeping from his cheeks to the tips of his ears. The hell you crying for? He barked, the sudden volume making me jump. He muttered something under his breath about seduction tactics, before I could explain my runny nose from the collision. Next thing I knew, Luke was scaling my bed frame like a deranged squirrel, diving under the covers with military precision. I remained frozen in my desk chair, utterly bewildered. This guy had some serious mood swings. Turns out I became campus famous at a university overnight. Not for academics, looks, or family connections, no. I earned my 15 minutes because Luke's rogue elbow gave me a freaking concussion. What started as temporary social suicide morphed into a 4-year dating apocalypse. Every morning en route to the quad, whispers followed us like ducklings. That's him, the human bubble boy who got knocked over by a breeze. I walked beside Luke like a malfunctioning robot, wishing the pavement would swallow me whole. His meaty paw landed on my shoulder. Relax. Everyone gets dumb nicknames in college. You'll graduate before you know it. His comforting words made me want to hurl. Easy for Mr. Football scholarship to say. Who wants to be called Princess P when you're a 178 centimeters gym rat? During military training week, I sat under a sycamore tree clutching my medical exemption while Luke drilled with the sophomores. Our unlikely roommate situation stemmed from housing shortages. Me, a late enrolling freshman, got shoved into the only available slot with 2 upperclassmen. The finance major ghosted us for frat parties, while Luke's athlete roommate vanished to preseason training. When the lunch whistle blew, a swarm of girls materialized around my shady perch. My face burned hotter than the September sun. Never been this close to so many females. Their opening volley killed the mood. Princess P, you room with Luke Carter? Spill his socials. Does he have a girlfriend? Put in a good word for me. Across the field, Luke's storm cloud expression darkened. Ethan. His bark sliced through the estrogen fog. I practically tripped over myself escaping to his side. Rescuing me? I joked. His gaze lingered on the dispersing crowd. Popularity looks good on you, freshman. The corner of his mouth twitched. Not me, they want your digits. Should I? Luke shrugged, already striding toward the dining hall. Move it, princess. Sweet and sour ribs wait for no one. My stomach growled on cue. Who needs dating prospects when crispy pork exists? The cafeteria line snaked around pillars. Luke positioned me ahead of him, then suddenly yanked my collar like a misbehaving kitten. Huh? What's wrong? His eyes darted across the room. Just stay where I can see you. The gruffness couldn't hide the pink tinging his ears. I looked up at him in confusion. He twitched his lips and said, I'm afraid I'll accidentally send you back to the hospital if I'm not careful. Nearby classmates who overheard Luke's comment immediately burst into laughter, making me blush and turn away speechless. Then came the awkward moment. There was only one portion of sweet and sour ribs left at the cafeteria counter. The lunch lady's eyes lit up when she saw me, enthusiastically piling all the remaining ribs onto my tray. Young man, you're the one who got that concussion yesterday, right? Eat up. Next time you come, I'll give you extra portions too. Flushing crimson under Luke's glare, I reluctantly accepted the overflowing tray. Balancing the heavy load carefully, I walked slowly to avoid both dizziness and dropping my precious ribs. After getting his own food, Luke quickly claimed a table and came back to take my tray. He stood by the table staring at me. What? Come eat. During the meal, Luke's eyes practically burned holes into my food. Finally unable to bear it, I pushed my tray forward. This is too much. Want to share? Luke glanced at the ribs, biting his lower lip. When I gave him a friendly smile, he scratched his head awkwardly, his ears turning red in the stuffy cafeteria. I barely caught his muttered, "How's something this cute not a girl?" What? Eat more. That way when I'm not around, you won't get knocked into another concussion. Luke shoved the tray back toward me, adding a fried chicken drumstick to my plate. I stared at the drumstick in exasperation. It was an accident. Who gets concussed daily? I'm starting to think Luke embodies that old saying, all brawn, no brains. After nicknaming me Ethan, he's taken to treating me like some fragile princess. Every morning he buys breakfast, escorts me to the field, and even borrowed a folding stool from the dorm supervisor for me to sit under the tree. After noon training sessions, he shows up sweaty to walk me to the cafeteria. That's normal roommate stuff, but Luke takes it further, tying my shoes, carrying my jacket, shadowing my every move with an umbrella. Even that night when I climbed down to use the bathroom, the moment my feet touched the floor, Luke's groggy voice came through the darkness. Why awake? Bathroom break. I whispered. He grabbed his phone for light and stumbled down. Let's go. Trying not to wake others, I nodded. Luke looked exhausted from intense daytime training, barely staying awake during dinner. At the bathroom door, he leaned against the frame drowsily. Luke. Yeah? I need to go. Aha. You're blocking the door. He pinched his nose bridge, stepping aside to close the door behind me. When I came out, I found Luke slumped against the wall, already fast asleep. When Lucas Carter was awake, He always wore that trademark smirk, his sharp jawline giving off an unapproachable vibe. But asleep, he looked surprisingly serene. I was lost in thought when his eyes snapped open, locking with mine in an unblinking stare. Like what you see, HM? Can't take your eyes off me? His morning voice rasped lower than usual, the faint bathroom light casting shadows that made the air feel charged. My cheeks burned as I muttered, "I'm done. Your turn." He grunted, heading back toward the bunk. "Aren't you using the toilet?" "Changed my mind." "Then why'd you come down?" "Thought you needed company. You were shaking like a leaf in the dark earlier." I choked on my retort. Maybe the trembling had more to do with being startled by his sudden appearance than actual fear? Days later, Luke accompanied me to my medical checkup. The doctor cleared me, but it was Luke who exhaled like he'd been holding his breath for weeks. His constant care left me flustered enough that I dragged him to an off-campus hot pot joint that evening. My treat. For everything. He rolled a mint across his cheek, gaze lingering. "Got a crush on your big bro?" I ignored the bait, used to his antics. Bored, he scrolled through campus forums until shoving his phone in my face. "Know this guy?" The screen showed a confession wall post. "Dear wall, Prince Charming's lashes could sweep floors. Saw him under the oak tree looking adorably confused. Would he date a real prince?" My brain short-circuited. A guy? Confessing to me? I turned to find Luke glowering at the device like it personally offended him. "You're mad? But someone actually likes me. Stay away from those perverts who like men." The venom in his tone startled me into nodding. My chest tightened during the walk back. So Luke was that kind of straight guy. Problem was, I did like men. Next morning, my alarm blared. Barefoot, I climbed down the ladder when Luke entered with breakfast bags. His gaze dropped, brows furrowing. Before our roommate could blink, Luke hoisted me by the waist onto a chair, breakfast still dangling from his other hand. "Dude, your arm strength is insane." Lucas Carter nodded. "Heading out this early?" "Morning drills with the team. Later, Luke." "Ethan." "Got it." Luke finished talking to his roommate, then reached over to pluck socks from my bunk. He crouched, his scorching palm encircling my ankle as I instinctively jerked back. His grip tightened. "Quit squirming. No socks in this weather? You'll catch a chill," he muttered, focused on tugging the fabric over my foot without glancing up. My pulse raced wildly, cheeks burning. Yet yesterday's memory flashed, Luke's disgusted expression when he'd thought I wasn't looking. I suddenly pressed my hand over his as he reached for my second sock. He looked up, confusion fading into silent intensity when our eyes met. The words clogged my throat. "My concussion, it's healed." I swallowed. "Luke, you don't have to keep taking care of me out of guilt." He shot upright, looming over me with brows knotted like storm clouds. "You think I've been babysitting you because I feel bad about that?" His gaze pinned me, a merciless mirror forcing me to confront truths I'd buried. When I looked away, he gripped my chin, forcing me to meet his eyes. "Ethan, talk." "Maybe because you're decent?" I stammered. Luke's face darkened like I'd slapped him. He bent until our noses almost touched, each word a hammer strike. "I'm not some damn saint." "Then why? We've only known each other a week." For a heartbeat, fury flickered into something raw in his eyes before he blurted, "I look after you because you're like some fragile porcelain doll. Leave you alone and you'd." The dam broke. Tears spilled down my face as I wrenched free. "I don't want your pity. I'm a guy, Luke. A guy." His hand fell slack. For endless seconds, he hovered, half reaching to wipe my tears before aborting the motion. Shoulders slumping, he grabbed his gym bag and jacket. At the doorway, he paused. "Third cafeteria's pork dumplings are on your desk. Eat them before they get cold." I waited until his footsteps faded before picking up the discarded socks. The dumplings sat untouched, grease congealing on the wrapper. All week, Luke kept leaving breakfast offerings. I stopped taking them, retreating behind my bunk's curtains whenever he entered our dorm. Avoided his voice. Avoided the treacherous warmth that still curled in my chest whenever he breathed my name. Wednesday's lecture hall buzzed with stifled giggles as I entered. Every front row seat for the popular professor's class was taken. Near the middle aisle, a grinning guy with surfer blonde hair waved wildly. "Over here. Saved you a spot." Snickers rippled through the room as I approached. The chair held a black hoodie, which the guy theatrically swept aside to drape over his shoulders. My buddy bailed with a stomachache. "Lucky you." Murmurs crescendoed as I sat. Behind me, someone stage whispered, "Bet $20 the new kid cries before roll call." The blonde winked, sliding a neon pink sticky note onto my notebook. "Don't mind them. I'm Ryan. You looked like you needed backup." For the first time in days, something lighter than dread flickered in my chest. The boy bounced with energy, quickly explaining himself. His personality felt a bit odd. After all, it's rare to see someone so cheerful while their friend is sick. "Thank you," I said. Ryan's cheeks flushed crimson as he waved his hands. "No problem. I'm Ryan." "Hi, I'm Ethan." After 2 morning classes, Ryan naturally swapped numbers with me at lunchtime, inviting me to the cafeteria. My stomach growled thinking about dining hall 3's sweet and sour ribs, a craving as persistent as my thoughts about Luke. "Ethan? Earth to Ethan?" Ryan bent down, eyes sparkling mischievously. "Second dining hall today. Their braised ribs beat your usual favorite. Trust me." I chuckled despite myself. "All right, let's try your famous ribs." Mid-meal, my phone buzzed with a campus confession page screenshot from a senior. To the wall, "Ethan looked adorable today. The prince finally outsmarted the dragon to meet him." Below was a photo of me turning to smile when Ryan called my name in the lunch line. Heat rushed to my face. I'd known I liked guys since puberty, but this was the first time someone publicly. A dark figure stormed through the cafeteria doors. Luke's athletic frame radiated fury as his glare locked onto our table. He lunged at Ryan, fists twisting his collar. "Didn't I warn you to stay away?" Luke's voice shook with rage. Ryan smirked defiantly. "Playing the dragon now? Since when do you decide who Ethan hangs with?" Luke bared his teeth. "Ethan doesn't like you. You sure about that?" Ryan taunted. "He doesn't like men." Luke roared, hauling Ryan halfway off the chair. "Luke, let him go." I grabbed Luke's rock-hard bicep. Other students joined the struggle, but Luke stood immovable. "Luke!" My shout finally broke through. He turned, hurt flashing beneath the anger. "I told you to avoid these guys who like men." He growled. The words stabbed deeper than any blade. I met his gaze steadily. "Then stay away from me too, Luke, because I'm exactly that kind of guy." His grip slackened. As I reached for Ryan, Luke's hand clamped around my wrist like iron manacles, dragging me toward the exit without a word. "Luke! Luke!" He grabbed me, dragging me into the small grove beside the second cafeteria. His stormy eyes locked onto mine with unspoken intensity. "I've said everything I needed to say. I'm leaving." When I tried to walk away, Luke's grip tightened around my wrist, yanking me back. I turned to snap at him, only to find those puppy dog eyes staring back. The kind that made you think of a drenched golden retriever left in the rain. "So you've been avoiding me all week because I said liking guys is disgusting?" My throat tightened with unshed tears. "If you're homophobic and I'm gay, it's better we keep our distance." I swallowed hard. "And Luke, I'm a human being, not some freak. When I fall for someone, it's because of their face, their personality, how they treat me. Not just any random guy." His knuckles whitened around my arm. Then he dropped the bomb. "So you like Ryan?" Red-rimmed eyes dared me to deny it. I gaped at this beautiful idiot, torn between crying and laughing hysterically. "Luke Carter, did your jock helmet dent your brain during practice? How the hell did you get into state U? Through the athlete quota?" He blinked innocently, leaning closer. "Scholarship. For football. Get lost." I stormed off before this moron gave me an aneurysm. For the next week, Luke transformed into a hypervigilant Doberman. If I disappeared from his sight for 2 minutes between his training sessions, my phone would blow up. "Ethan, where are you? Ethan, are you Ryan? Answer me, Ethan. I'm calling Ryan in 5. I yanked up my jeans, slamming the bathroom stall open. There he stood by the exit, murder in his eyes like some jealous boyfriend catching me cheating. Going somewhere? I blocked his path. His expression instantly softened. Couldn't find you, he mumbled, scuffing his Nikes like a kid caught stealing cookies. Luke. I pinched the bridge of my nose. I'm gay. Ryan's gay. If we ever... It's completely normal. No. He cut me off sharply, jaw clenched. Why not? My hopeful whisper hung between us. His throat worked soundlessly before he ground out. Just no. Disappointment tasted bitter. You're a good guy, Luke. I'd like to stay friends. But I like men. Even if it's not Ryan now, it'll be some other guy later. You can't expect me to never date anyone just because we're friends. Why not? I could do it. Luke blurted out, his brow furrowed with irritation. What about when you get married someday? What if you meet a girl you like? I kept my eyes down, avoiding his intense gaze. Ethan. He stepped closer, voice dropping low. If you stay away from guys, I'll stay away from girls too. We could be together. Wouldn't that work? I gave a bitter laugh, finally meeting his stormy eyes. Together as what? Friends? Brothers? Or, brothers isn't good enough? Hope flickered across his face. Brothers? I shook my head slowly. Don't get forever. Turning away, I heard Luke's frustrated growl behind me as we walked to class. The campus quad parted like the Red Sea around Luke's seething presence. Even Ryan looked momentarily wary when we entered the lecture hall, though the blonde quickly recovered with an exaggerated wave at me. Luke's jaw clenched like he wanted to rip the smirking guy's arm off, but I shoved him toward the exit. Go to practice. Fuck this. He spat, storming away. Ryan intercepted me after class with cafeteria plans, but Luke materialized at the building's entrance like an angry gargoyle. Your guard dog's looking extra feral today, Ryan murmured, breath warm against my ear. Before I could react, his lips brushed my cheek. The punch landed with a sickening crack. I barely caught Luke around the waist as he lunged again. Luke Carter. Told you to stay the hell away from him. Luke roared, pinning Ryan against the concrete. Blood trickling from his split lip. Ryan laughed wildly. Why do you care so much, Carter? You keep screaming about keeping Ethan away from guys like me. His blue eyes glittered with challenge. But aren't you the biggest queer here? Luke froze. Admit it. Ryan pressed. You want him too. I at least own it. You're just a closeted. The growl ripped from Luke's throat as his fist drew back again. I don't like guys. Then say you don't want Ethan. Ryan shouted. Look him in the eye and say you've never imagined. Enough. Luke's roar silenced the gathering crowd. His grip on my wrist turned bruising as he dragged me away, throwing over his shoulder. Doesn't matter who he likes. He's mine. The campus forum buzzed with rumors by afternoon, but our empty dorm held only tension thick enough to choke on. Luke sat rigidly by my desk, knuckles still raw from the fight. I hovered near the door, heart pounding. What you said earlier, I began. Dark eyes snapped up, electricity crackling in the stillness between us. Is it real feelings for me, or just you trying to outdo Ryan and saying whatever comes to mind? After a long pause, Luke Carter looked up and approached me, his tall frame casting shadows over me. Ethan, touch here. It hurts. He pressed my palm against his chest where his heartbeat raced wildly. When I tried pulling back, he gripped tighter. Ethan, if you like guys, like me instead. I looked it up. Among guys popular with other guys, athletes top the list. I'm decent looking, from a good family, and my stamina is top-notch. Obviously. Wait, my brain's been mush since this started. But why emphasize stamina? I'm definitely better than that scrawny Ryan. I pushed at him, only for Luke to swoop down, silencing me with a kiss. After breaking apart, he shamelessly grinned. Fuck, you're sweet. Let's go again. Ethan. Pinned against the door. I lost count of kisses until my neck cracked alarmingly. Next thing I knew, Luke was panic-stricken, carrying me bridal style to the hospital amidst campus stairs. The forum exploded frowny face OP here. Saw the whole drama in design hall. Ryan kissed Ethan Miller. Then Luke knocked him flat. Wait, Luke hit Ethan? 3 ls dumb. You think Luke ever hurt his precious Ethan? Obviously the homewrecker got punched. So Luke's into Ethan? Where've you been? The whole athletics department knows except Luke himself. +1. When they fought last month. Luke nearly killed us during drills. Update. Saw Luke carry Ethan to the hospital after less than 1 hour in dorm. Only an hour? With Luke's physique? Maybe his equipment's too impressive and Ethan got hurt? Traumatized. +1. Traumatized. Wearing my neck brace across campus, I endured stares mixing schadenfreude and awe. First the concussion-prone Princess P. Now this neck injury from kissing legend. Luke hovered nervously until I checked the forum. Luke Carter. Officially taken. Attachments, wifey teary, eyed with neck brace. JPG wifey glaring. JPG wifey angrily munching apple. JPG wifey post-shower blushing. JPG the last photo disappeared instantly. Luke why delete? His reply, fuck off mutts. I haven't even looked enough myself. Get your own partner. LOL Luke's being a mother hen. A flustered male voice above me cursed. I yanked the curtain open to find Luke brightening instantly. Need something? Babe? Water? Snacks? Who's your wife? You never asked me. Luke smirked, tongue tracing lips, reverting to that cocky jerk I first met. We've kissed that many times. Not gonna take responsibility, sweetheart? My face burned crimson as our roommate's curtain snapped open violently. Okay, let's be real here. You two can date all you want. But hello? There's a living, breathing person right here. Could you at least pretend I exist? I yanked the curtain shut, covering my burning face. The dorm echoed with Luke's muffled laughter, vibrating right against my eardrums. On Christmas Day, Luke practically dragged me out for our date at some hot spring resort in the suburbs. When I stepped out of the changing room, there he was, lounging in the steamy water with a towel slung low, scrolling on his phone. His head snapped up at the sound of my footsteps, eyes lighting up as he started wading over. Princess, better hold on to me so I don't slip. He deadpanned, sounding like some cheesy sidekick from a bad rom-com. I rolled my eyes but grabbed his arm anyway. Then, on the last step, he yanked hard. My feet slid out from under me, and suddenly I was plastered against his chest. My face smashed into his stupidly perfect pecs. Before I could react, he hoisted my legs around his waist, lifting me eye level. This way, he said with mock seriousness. We won't get neck cramps from kissing. His hands slid up my back as he crushed his mouth to mine. The water rippled around us while the night sky pulsed overhead. Even the North Star seemed to blush behind its cloud blanket. Hours later, breathless whispers still hung in the air like steam, each one dissolving into the star-flecked darkness until dawn smudged the horizon.